How's it going, guys? Vincent here, and today we're going to take a look at the LG G4. Now, first, when LG sent me this phone, I was actually very surprised. I've been using an iPhone for the past, 3 or 4 years now. Now, I have owned a few Android devices. I've owned the past 2 Nexus devices, and I've always returned them to get the iPhone because I wasn't really happy with the camera or the photo quality of the Nexus phones. And I know I wasn't a huge fan of the Galaxy S phones because of the looks of the phone. So, I kind of have a bad experience with Android. So when LG sent me this phone, I was actually very excited to try it out and give it a whirl, and this is what I found. Now, to get the tech specs out of the way, this phone is rocking Android 5.1 Lollipop. It's rocking a 1.8 GHz hexa-core processor with 32 GB of RAM. It also has expandable storage up to 2 TB via micro SD card, as well as an expandable battery which you can actually replace the battery and add new ones in, so on and so forth. So it has a removable back, so it's pretty cool. It also has a 5.5-inch IPS quantum display with a maximum resolution of 2560 by 1440. For graphics, it's running a Qualcomm Adreno 418. As for internal storage, it has 32 GB of internal storage, but again, it's expandable via micro SD card. Now, taking a look at the outside of this phone, you're going to notice that it's very thin. It has a nice curved display, but it's a little bit thicker than the previous LG G3. It's a little bit fatter, but it has nice sharper corners, so I think it looks a little bit better than the LG G3 last time. You're also going to notice that there are no buttons on the side or top of the phone. Yes, there's no buttons on the side or top of the phone. All the buttons are on the back of the phone, but controls the volume as well as the unlock lock button there. So it's on the back, it's very ergonomic, and I like it very much compared to just reaching to the top of the phone or the sides of the phone here. So I like it on the back, it's pretty cool. Now, looking at the 5.5-inch display, it's very nice, it's very vivid, it's very bright. Nothing outstanding, but it is a typical nice screen. And there's no lag, no stutter when viewing 4K video, etc. And it looks very nice overall. The screen is slightly reflective, but it's not a huge problem outside. Overall, I think it's very color accurate, it's vivid, and it's more than what you would expect from a screen on this flagship phone here. In terms of battery life, this phone isn't anything outstanding. It has a 3000 mAh battery, so it's your typical average battery for your Android devices. It should last you from in the morning you wake up to the end when you go home from work around 5 or 6 o'clock. And it should last you pretty much all throughout your workday, or then we can recharge it. So, just something to keep in mind. But overall, the LG G4 performs actually very well. It's kind of what you expect from a flagship phone from LG. Things are very nice and smooth. There's no lag. There's no stutter. The performance is great. It runs games just fine. It runs videos just fine. You have nice features such as split screening, which you can multitask and, run 2 apps side by side and work together like that. No problem there. Everything's kind of what you expect from a flagship phone. The one thing I do want to talk about is actually the camera on this phone. And the camera absolutely blew me away. It is beyond the best camera I've used on the Android devices. Now, I've kind of had bad experiences with Android cameras. They've been pretty crummy from my experience. But the camera on this phone absolutely blew me away. It's using a 16 megapixel camera on the back with a f1.8 lens. So it's a very, very nice aperture. You can get some really nice focus, some really nice depth of field that way. You have your normal features such as HDR, automatic and manual focus, some nice presets, white balance stuff. You have an LED backlight, and the white balance on this phone is absolutely amazing. It adjusts white balance very fast and very accurately. But the best thing about this phone's camera is actually the manual controls of the camera. You can shoot RAW as well as JPEG, which gives you a lot of control over the photos that you can use and edit in post-production. You have simple mode, which allows you to simply tap on a subject and it'll actually take the picture once it focuses. You have the automatic mode, which is your normal automatic mode. And then you have the full-blown manual mode, which gives you full control over the white balance, the manual focus, the ISO, the shutter speed. And it's actually very, very responsive. So you can actually change these settings live. The camera will update, and it's very responsive, very fast. And it gives you a very accurate representation of what you're getting on your camera. And I love the shutter speed control. It's very fluid and it works very well. And it's probably my favorite part of the manual controls of the phone's camera here. Aside from those things, you have nice histograms, you have grid options, timer options, your typical flash options. You can actually say cheese in the camera and actually take a picture for you. You have options to change the aspect ratio of your photos and videos. For video, you have options to actually capture in slow motion, 720p, 1080p, as well as UHD 4K resolution, which is very impressive as you see in the demo videos right now. So like I said, the phone's camera is very, very impressive. The only downside is that I think sometimes sharpens my photos a little bit too much internally. Some of the photos seem a little bit too sharpened in some places and sometimes. But overall, the camera is very sharp, very nice, very clear. and I love the camera on this thing. It's amazing. And as you can see, you can get some amazing shots and photos using this phone's camera. This is by far the best camera phone I've used on Android, and I really like it a lot. So overall, I would have to rate the LG G4 as my favorite Android device that I've used recently. Not only does it have a fantastic camera, but it also has these really cool buttons in the back of the phone that allows you to pretty much control the volume as well as unlock the phone. It's very ergonomic. It works very well with Android 5.1 Lollipop. It's very responsive, it's very fluid, it's very thin, it has a nice curved display. And overall, using the phone, I didn't really find any major issues with the phone. I kind of like the leather backing, but that's just more of a cosmetic issue. But overall, I really like this phone, and I couldn't recommend it enough to anyone. And I wouldn't mind using this phone as my personal driver. So, check it out, the LG G4. More information down below in the description. My name is Vincent Nguyen, signing out.